For millennia, constant war kept the people of the two kingdoms apart, and for good reason. The good people of Allegria defended themselves against the ravenous lust of the evil beings who resided in the neighbouring kingdom of Malaboj, a land rejected by the pits of hell. And they fought to the death for thousands of years, those brave men of Allegria, and they were successful. Not one abomination had crossed the Allegrian border alive. Their kingdom was peaceful, until all the noble warriors of Allegria who had lost their lives would be for nothing. Ruler of Malaboj, the son of all that is unholy, King Minos, had for decades tried in vain to conquer Allegria, to win control over the castle of Allegria. Minos fooled the weakest link of Allegria, the Allegrians' king, drunken brother, and their heir to the throne. King Minos sent this fool a letter, convincing him to kill his own brother, the king of Allegria, in return for total control of both kingdoms. He fell victim to the temptation of greed, and he killed his own brother, the king of Allegria, peeled his throat as he slept. He stuffed his head in a bag as proof, and left Allegria towards the filthy kingdom of Malaboj. The sun did not rise for 2 days in Allegria. The traitor arrived at the lair of King Minos. He threw his brother's head at the feet of the Dark King and demanded his rule to be in effect at that instant. He demanded gold and wine and women, but instead he received the gnashing teeth of Minos' three-headed dog. The head devoured that traitor, and his cry echoed across the barren landscape. He should have known better than to trust Minos, infamous for lies. Allegria was ripe for the taking, with her king and heir to the throne both dead. Her walls crumbled like glass, and the insatiable hordes of abominations poured through with the blind rage of feral hogs. They were famished from ages of neglect. They ate everything. The Allegrians fought bravely, but their attempts were hopeless. The numbers of Malaboj were too great. They were quickly overrun, slain where they stood, and trampled by the hideous stampede. And soon all that was good in Allegria ceased to be. The greedy swine of Malaboj consumed every resource Allegria depended on. They ravaged that land so irreversibly that not a single blade of grass could be seen throughout the land. King Minos treated the people shamefully. When hunger wouldn't kill them, plagues would. With no trees left to build houses, they were left to lie in the slime. King Minos kept to the castle of Allegria, unable to leave the sight of the incredible amount of gold it had. He grew richer as the people grew poorer, and he couldn't be more satisfied in his castle. Oh, did the oppressed long for a hero. The people of that once great land of Allegria became near extinction as the terrain was depleted to the utmost degree, and the curses of Malaboj continued to multiply. While times were at their hardest, a peasant child was born. His name was Saigno, and he was the last hope for Allegria's redemption. And so the story goes, Saigno was born poor, as were all at the time. He resented seeing his people treated so poorly. As a youth, he witnessed the murder of his own parents. They were killed by Cerberus, the horrid bodyguard of King Minos. Saigno had to find his own way to survive in the unforgiving land. His upbringing was rough, but he found his talent was fighting. Not fortunate enough to learn with weapons, Saigno's hand sufficed. He fought from dusk until dawn, never stopping for a breath of air. Saigno fought to survive. He yearned for something better. Without a home, he roamed the land, finding work and what little food was there. Many of the people who were once members of nobility had become bandits in those harsh times, and Saigno was often attacked, but each time he defeated them all. Saigno crossed paths with an old wizard named Virgil, who was one of few elders left in the land that was once Allegria. Virgil kept Saigno in his humble dwelling. No one had ever been so gracious to Saigno. "Why is it you treat me with such kindness, wizard?" Saigno would ask. "It is because you are chosen to free us who are forced to endure this hell," the wizard would say. "You are an old fool, how would you know this?" Virgil would not answer that question, but he taught Saigno how to better his combat with patience and precision. It was here the kindness of Virgil ceased, and he forced discipline upon Saigno. Virgil's teachings were grueling, and the young warrior often cursed the wizard for his strict nature. 2 years he had stayed with the wizard, each day growing into a stronger fighter. One morning Saigno awoke to a strange pattern on his chest. Confused, he made haste to Virgil. "What is this mark you have bestowed upon me, wizard?" Saigno demanded. "It is the sign of Talos." "You are ready," said Virgil. "I'm ready for what?" asked Saigno. "Talos, the god of this kingdom, has chosen you to kill the evil King Minos and restore peace to this beloved kingdom. It is your destiny. I will lead you to his fortress, but it is up to you, young warrior, to defeat him." They left Virgil's home walking. They walked until the castle of Allegria could be seen over the horizon. Here they stopped. The old wizard spoke. "That is the castle of Allegria. There you will find King Minos, and there you will kill him. Remember what you have learned, and your strike shall always be true. And first, Saigno left his master's side and proceeded up the stairs to the castle, all 40,000 of them. The ascent was exhausting. Saigno was already fatigued before he reached the summit, and it was here when the combat began. Great numbers poured from the walls of the fortress. Their swords raged against Saigno. He remembered his teachings. His strike was true. He fought off the guards for 2 days non-stop, until as soon as they had appeared the guards lied dead in Saigno's wake. Saigno inhaled, taking his first deep breath, and advanced toward the walls of the castle. Inside the compound, an ominous figure stood idly in the distance. Saigno walked over to it. Soon it was clear that it was the dreaded Cerberus, the bodyguard of King Minos. He stood there brandishing his whip, the same whip that took the lives of Saigno's parents, and thousands of others. For the first time in his life, Saigno felt rage, but he left it without discourse. Saigno charged, and his adversary likewise. The fight left Saigno battered, but in the end, Cerberus was the one who lay dead. Saigno left his body where it lay. The chosen one went into the lair of Minos, where the evil king waited. "Who are you? Who have come into my house of pain?" asked Minos. "If it is gold you seek, child, I shall pay you with riches you wouldn't dream possible." Saigno spoke. "It is your life I seek, wretched king, and your life I will take." King Minos became fearful. "You bear the mark of Talos. This is impossible," said the evil king. "Perhaps you wish to rule alongside me." "I wish only to end your evil regime and rid this world of the damned of Malaboj. King Minos, your crimes are unforgivable. May you find mercy in the cold depths of hell." Saigno took King Minos, the son of all that is unholy. He took him by the throat and squeezed the life from his malicious body. He redeemed the crown that he wore, the crown that belonged to the beloved king of Allegria. Saigno's trials were complete. Little by little, the people fought back against the creatures of Malaboj, driving them back across the borders of the land. They pursued them far into the desolate land of Malaboj. They killed every vile one of them, until none remained. Allegria was resurrected, and its reach was much farther than before. The Allegrian Empire took what was once the filthy land of Malaboj. Soon it was hard to believe that such a desert could have existed. The grass grew and colour was bestowed upon the landscape. The people were happy. Saigno was crowned king. He found a princess, and the people of the great kingdom of Allegria rejoiced in their wedding. At last the fighting ended, and the sickness of Malaboj were forever to rot in the underworld. The kingdom flourished happily ever after.